I was talking with Annie, and she was pitching me some of these names that she's trying to come up with her new worship collective. And I won't get into the name or anything like that, but Joey and I have realized that if you're going to start a worship collective, you really should have the word worship in it, just for search engine optimization. People seem to convert like mass anthems. This is mass anthem playlist versus anthem worships. This is anthem worship playlist. The conversion rate there is significantly different. Like the anthem worship one is infinitely better. It grows faster. It's more consistent. And we're convinced it's because the word worship is in there, where a fan can land on that and know instantly what they're getting into. We know
Yeah, I think it's
instantly
two
what to
things.
expect.
Number one, SEO for search. Like people are always typing in worship or worship music, whatever. And then the second one is like the average consumer's attention span is like razor thin. So this
Little
was the
goldfish
biggest
brain.
issue. Huh?
It's like a little goldfish
No,
brain.
like literally. And
Yeah.
it's just because everybody gets distracted more and more with the internet and all that stuff. So for Mass Anthem, our biggest thing was like Jason, I don't know how many shows you've been on with us where people would ask us like, where did you get the name? Like, what is it? What are you? What is a mass anthem? When we would go play on
What?
the East Coast, they're like, oh, you're from Massachusetts. And we're like, no, we're not from Massachusetts. And so that was like one of the things where in 2014, when you're in college as a freshman, you're like, what are we going to be? We're going to lift our anthem to the masses. And then we got stuck with that name. But then whenever we got to this point where we wanted to start making actual collectives and brands, we're like, it's got to be dead on. And like, I kid you not, when we start to try to book shows, conferences, worship events, whatever, it's like, duh. Everybody we talk to is like, you're a worship band. We're like, yes, that's what we're going for.
And
Whereas with Mass Anthem, we always had to like explain. We're like, well, we're kind of like, this was back in the day before we like went all out on the worship stuff. We were like, well, we're kind of like if Justin Bieber was like Christian and they're like, well, I don't hear any of that stuff on the radio. Where it's like, yeah, but we're trying to like change the radio. And
yeah,
we're like, and that
we're
worked out
different.
well for us.
We're
We're
unique.
different. We're like super unique. We're like pop and like edgy. Where it's like, if you listen to our stuff, like, and you, like, didn't know we were Christians, like, it would pass as mainstream, but,
Yeah.
like, if you know us personally, like, we're Christian. So we were, like, playing that whole game, and, like and then we'd try to go get booked for obviously, the majority of the gigs we get were, like, camps and churches and stuff. We're like, "Well, we want you guys to do worship." And so it was always this like divide of like, what are you? Like, what is your brand? And that was honestly one of the things why going back thinking about when we were talking with managers and like when we were trying to do the official like label stuff, the amount of people that would be like, who are you? Like, we don't know who you are. And I don't think you know who you are. And that was one of the big things where the reasonings why we didn't get signed, thankfully. But then as soon as we started, the Anthem Worship brand and we started trying to book actual worship events, it hasn't been as difficult. Not even close.
It's a no-brainer. It's like, who are you guys? We're a worship collective. Oh, let me go look at your music.
Cool.
It's all
When can you get
worship.
here?
Okay, I like the music, you know? Side note, yeah, the mass anthem origins were actually Catholic, emphasis on mass, anthems for
We've
mass.
gotten that too. We've gotten a lot of that too. If they're like, are you guys a Catholic band? We're like, nope, not
I'm not
really.
gonna lie, that was my first guess because I'm Roman Catholic and our emphasis on mass. And I'm like, oh my
There you
god, like
go.
it's mass music.
And Trace, I even thought about this for you as Joey was talking about the fact that when we decided to rebrand and start another project as Anthem Worship, the worship events got so much easier to book. The branding and everything got so much easier to book. And I did have that thought with, you having the Trace Co. and I'm where you're wanting to take that direction. It's like, if you keep sticking in worship music, you're like, bro, I just rebranded this thing. It's a pain in the butt. I start
You
over.
didn't hear me?
Yeah. But there is something to that when you're in the worship space, specifically having the word worship in it. everything becomes easier, everything converts better, streaming platforms are better, booking shows, conveying who you are. It's from a brand perspective, it just gets easier.
Ironically, I've got DistroKid up and I was looking at that, just considering.
When?
Just then. Like, as
Adding
you were saying that, yeah, I have it pulled up and I was thinking about that as well.
reading your mind.
'Cause I mean, I gotta change it anyway, might as well. I really like that idea though.
And I would challenge you to consider one more thing here. I would challenge you to make the brand not necessarily centered around you as a person with your name Trace in it. I would keep what you currently have. I would come up with a different one as a collective, and then when you're singing, co-primary it.
Ah, okay, cool.
Again, like what we do with Anthem Worship, Mass
Yeah.
Anthem, Eleni, if you can do 3, so you would essentially take those 2. The reason is, now when you're booking and doing all this stuff, you know, you can be the collective, you can bring people in, bring people out, but you don't necessarily have to be married to a specific group.
Believe it or not, we started as 2 broke artists working multiple jobs, touring the country with our band trying to get signed. The label said no. COVID shut everything down. Nothing was working. Our bandmates even quit. It seemed like it was all over. So we learned marketing. We built our own momentum. We've crossed over 500 million streams on all of our music. And we built the Anthem Network to give indie artists, producers, and music industry players the roadmap we wish we had 10 years ago. If you're done doing this alone, join us on the inside of the Anthem Network. Get your 7-day free trial by clicking the link in the description below.
That's
And
good.
then, like, if you, for some reason, can't make it, but you've got dates, like, you could send a band.
Yeah.
And it
Yeah.
it puts you a little bit into a new position in this industry. You start to lean more into, like, the agency, the record label, whatever, and it turns into this business model where you can create a movement and help lots of people win together, but you don't necessarily have to be there, right?
Right.
Like, when they just went and booked, or they played Spring Hill as Anthem Worship this last month, you know, I wasn't there. Joey technically wouldn't have had to be there, except, you know, he married the lead singer, so, you know, I guess that's an important thing to travel
I'm
together.
there for quality control. That's why I'm there. I'm there for quality control.
He's
Have
there
you
to
guys
just
heard
keep you
of,
evolving.
of Forever Free? So they're kind of like a worship band. They do a lot of camps and events stuff based out of Atlanta. They kind of do the same thing. And at one point they had 3 different bands out at the same time. Like
Bingo.
their crew got so big that, I mean, they had a crew of up to 30 or something like that.
And
I
who's
mean,
to
if
say
you
what?
think about it, like, this is niche, according to Eleni, niche. But, like, as a worship band, and, like, if you're playing for, like, camps and stuff, a lot of times the smaller and mid-sized camps are not really looking for a top-tier brand because they can't afford the top-tier brands, but their real main focus is, like, I just need a really capable worship band to come out and play, and I don't really care if they're the biggest band possible, and those are the opportunities to where you could start to fan out and have multiple teams start, you know, because their goal is not to bring out elevation worship to be elevation worship. It's like they just wanna fulfill the space. But it's
Yeah.
hard to keep the quality there.
Yeah, sure.
We've learned that from our experience with Anthem Worship, sending people out where
Yeah.
I wasn't there with.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you gotta be intentional, because then your reputation, you know, can either
Yep.
get built up or
Mhm.
destroyed a little bit. And when you're doing it, you know, something that Joey and I like to think through as we're doing all this, like, we like to come up with brands that can be big, that feel big. We don't really ever want to come up with a brand where it feels small, where we're confined. Even when we go back to the Anthem Co., this company, we're like, when we came up with that name 5 years ago felt infinitely bigger than what we were capable of, like, putting into it. It almost felt like it's this giant Tupperware container and we only had a couple things to put in it. It kind of felt too big. And we're like, but we could grow into it, right? Like, there was something about the name, you know, like company. It just Anthem, the word Anthem felt big, it felt promising. And when we were thinking of our worship collective, we had a bunch of names that we were bouncing in between. And we landed on Anthem Worship. Again, it's like, yeah, it's a little basic, but also it's straight to the point. It's who we are. It's big. It just feels like we can scale this thing up, like elevation, worship, Hillsong, worship, anthem, worship. You know, finding that like one activator word. So as you're coming up with your collective, really kind of try to play around with, you know, like a word that means a lot to you that you could see yourself building an entire brand around that could become bigger than you as a person, right? That this thing could encompass you, and also other people could be dreaming about being involved in it and getting a chance to work in it and work for it and be a part of it.
Do you think Braun is his full name?
You're exposing me, man. What is this?
Do you think Cobra is my last name?
Are you not from a family of cobras?
I'm not from the family of Cobras, but I
What?
tell you what. Sometime this one specific time in Nashville, I ran into somebody who's an artist that I love listening to their music, and I play little guitar cover videos. They have no idea who I am, but they saw that video, and then I ran into him at the coffee shop, and I was like, "Yo, what's up?" And he was like, "You look familiar. What's your Cobra? Is your name It's like something memorable about I don't know anybody named Joey Cobra, and it doesn't make any sense, but there's just something about it that is a little bit more memorable than trying to memorize my last name or his entire last name. It's just
Yeah.
like it's hard to do that, but that's all a branding thing. How do we
And
build off of that?
mine, for example, is Braunschweig. It's 12 letters, none of them the same, very German. I would go on the road with Citizen Way back in the day, you know, doing tour managing, road managing. Everybody screwed it up and laughed at it literally nonstop. It was the fans, it was the promoter. They would see my name and they would crack a joke and butcher my name. And I was like, okay, I'm cutting it in half. Braun. There's so many artists, like some of these artists, he's a pop artist, but his name's Nick D. NIC space D. That's his name. He didn't even give you the last name. He didn't even give you more than one letter. Here's the start of my last name. But it's like, it's so straightforward. And then you kind of get to bring all the value and the color into that name as a brand. You know, so it's like I think Sylvia K will start to have more of a ring to it or a feel to it as you develop the brand, especially as we were talking about like your social media strategies and like your personality coming forward. It's like I think that's what's going to give it color. But at least now it's something people can't mess up. It's like how do you screw that up?
Before you head out, if that session gave you just one good idea, imagine what'll happen when you're actually in the room with us every week. That's what the Anthem Network is all about. Artists connecting, getting real-time feedback, and taking action together. You can join right now with a 7-day free trial and be part of the next live call for free. Don't just watch other artists grow with them. Click the link in the description and we'll see you on the next call.